There is a message you may have been avoiding your entire life. Not because someone refused to send it to you, but because a part of you was never ready to hear it. You keep waiting for the perfect moment. You wait until you feel confident. You wait until people understand you. You wait until your fear disappears. You wait until life finally becomes easier. But what if that moment never comes? What if the biggest thing holding you back is not your circumstances, your past, or even other people? What if it is the story you keep repeating inside your own mind? Your brain is constantly creating explanations for everything you experience. When something goes wrong, it searches for a reason. When someone rejects you, it tries to explain why. When you fail, it creates a story about what that failure means. And slowly, without realizing it, you can begin turning temporary experiences into permanent identities. You don't say, "I failed." You start saying, "I am a failure." You don't say, "Someone rejected me." You start thinking, "Nobody will ever choose me." You don't say, "I am struggling right now." You begin believing, "This is just who I am." That is where psychology becomes powerful. Your mind does not simply remember your thoughts. It begins looking for evidence to support them. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are weak, your attention becomes focused on every moment that proves you are weak. If you believe you are not good enough, you notice every criticism and ignore every achievement. The mind loves consistency, and sometimes it would rather protect an old belief than accept a new reality. That is why changing your life often begins with changing the message you repeat to yourself. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Nobody is coming to completely save you. People may support you. They may love you. They may give you advice. They may open doors for you. But eventually, you have to walk through those doors yourself. You cannot spend your entire life waiting for someone else to give you permission to become the person you know you could be. Maybe you are waiting for an apology. Maybe you are waiting for recognition. Maybe you are waiting for someone to finally understand your value. But the longer you wait for someone else to validate you, the more power you give them over your identity. Your value cannot depend entirely on another person's opinion. People change. Opinions change. Relationships change. Circumstances change. And if your identity is built on those things, you will constantly feel unstable. The final message is simple, but it is not easy. You have to stop negotiating with the version of yourself that is afraid to grow. Fear will always have an argument. It will tell you that you are not ready. It will remind you of everything that went wrong before. It will show you the worst possible future. And sometimes, fear sounds incredibly intelligent. It can disguise itself as logic. I'll start tomorrow. I need more time. I need to learn more first. I'll do it when life becomes less stressful. But sometimes, later, is simply fear wearing a reasonable mask. You don't need to become fearless. You need to learn how to move while fear is present. Think about every important change in your life. There was probably a moment when you did not feel completely prepared. Your first serious decision. Your first major failure. Your first attempt at something difficult. You survived those moments because you acted before you had complete certainty. That is how confidence is actually built. Confidence is not something you must possess before taking action. Very often, confidence is the result of taking action repeatedly. You act. You learn. You fail. You adjust. You try again. And eventually, your brain receives a new message. I can handle difficult things. That message is far more powerful than empty motivation. Because your brain learns from evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen self-trust. Every time you finish something you wanted to quit, you strengthen discipline. Every time you say no to something that destroys your peace, you strengthen your boundaries. And every time you choose long-term growth over short-term comfort, you become a slightly different person. This is why small decisions matter. You may think your future is created by one giant breakthrough. Usually, it is not. Your future is being constructed quietly through ordinary choices that nobody notices. What you watch, what you repeatedly think about, who you spend time with, what you tolerate, how you speak to yourself, what you do when nobody is watching. These things become patterns. Patterns become habits. Habits influence identity. An identity influences the direction of your life. So ask yourself a difficult question. If you continue living exactly the way you are living today, where will you be 5 years from now? Not where you hope to be. Not where you tell people you want to be. Where will your current habits actually take you? That question can be uncomfortable. But discomfort is sometimes useful. Because awareness comes before change. You cannot change a pattern you refuse to see. Maybe you need to stop chasing people who constantly make you question your worth. Maybe you need to stop comparing your life to carefully edited versions of other people's lives. Maybe you need to stop punishing yourself for mistakes you made. Before you understood what you know today, your past can explain you. It does not have to control you. You are allowed to outgrow an old version of yourself. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to begin again. And you are allowed to become someone your past self would barely recognize. But there is one more thing you need to understand. You will never control everything. You cannot control what people think. You cannot control who stays. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot control every loss. You cannot control the timing of life. But you can control your response. And that is where your power begins. When you stop wasting your energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you create space for the things you actually can change. Your attention. Your choices. Your habits. Your standards. Your effort. Your next step. Maybe this is the message you were never meant to hear from someone else. Maybe you were meant to discover it yourself. Stop waiting for life to tell you that you are ready. Stop waiting for everyone to believe in you. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start badly if you have to. Because progress does not require perfection. It requires repetition. And one day, you may look back and realize something important. The life you were waiting for did not suddenly arrive. You built it. Quietly. One decision at a time. One boundary at a time. One difficult morning at a time. One failure at a time. One brave choice at a time. So if nobody has told you this recently, hear it now. You are not required to remain the person you became just because other people became comfortable with that version of you. You can grow. You can rebuild. You can begin again. And perhaps the final message is not that your life will become easy. It is that you are capable of becoming stronger than the life that once felt impossible to handle. The question is no longer whether you are ready. The question is, what are you going to do now that you finally heard the message?